I would like to speak on maritime security issues in Indo-Pacific. As we are all aware, importance of Indo-Pacific region, especially with respect to India and its associated maritime security concerns which come with it. In the 21st century, this region has gained tremendous attention worldwide, and mainly because of steady economic growth of China and India. It is but natural, along with economic growth, security concerns will also increase, and that encourages all these powerful nations to flex their muscles in this region. And they actually remind us the importance of sea power. That's why we have nations like Australia, France, UK, Japan, United States, all of them operating in this region. This Indo-Pacific region stretches from east part of Indian Ocean to the West Pacific Ocean and is connected mainly by Malacca Straits. Like Malacca Straits is a choke point actually. I have been fortunate to do a patrol there, and mind you, the traffic, merchant traffic there is actually like Marine Drive. Six ships parallelly going, doing courses and all submerging, all going towards Malacca Straits or coming out of it. So dense traffic is there. This region also stands at intersection of international trade. Almost 3.2 billion barrels of crude oil actually transits through this area annually, and 40% of world trade also goes through this region. But we keep talking about or keep reading about the power competition between Beijing and Washington. We all know that China has been consistently increasing its military budget and its assertiveness in South China Sea. And to counter this, US has got into forming many alliances in this region, and its frequency of cooperation with various stakeholders in this particular region. And this power competition ultimately adds to the increased seaborne activity, and hence it has got a direct impact on maritime security in this region. In this talk, I am going to restrict myself within Indian Ocean region. I do not want to talk about Nine Dash Line, South China Sea, String of Pearls. That I will leave aside because we keep talking about and keep reading about that. My main focus will be Indian Ocean region up to Malacca Straits and India's maritime security concerns in this region. As we all know, we are strategically located, and the is we have to be a net security provider in this region. Seaborne trade has to be protected from any kind of risks and threats. It is high time that India starts projecting itself as sea power. I mean, not only on paper, but we have to actually show it at sea that we are not only emerging, but almost emerged as a sea power in this region. And that will definitely add to our national security. In addition to maritime security, we also have to include human security in this region. That includes HADR, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, food security through fishery industry, and also protection of our marine environment. I think before we began these discussions, when we were hearing Ambassador Shekhar Dutt, he was also mentioning that what potential we have in the sea that has to be exploited, and it's high time that since our resources are drying out, we have to focus on these areas. So now let me elaborate in India as a net security provider in this region. As has been explained by David, the element of security should be designed towards reassurance rather than deterrence. All players operating in this region should be assured of security, be it in terms of safe and timely passage of their ships through slots, the logistic support provided to them, repair and maintenance facility provided to them, casualty evacuation, HADR, These are a few of the things. And mind you, we are already into it. There have been instances where we have pressed into force our few of our ships for casualty evacuation. In fact, last year, one of our ships from the exercise were diverted because there was a medical emergency on one of the merchant ships, and that particular patient was airlifted and taken to Goa for further treatment. We also have to develop confidence in our maritime neighbors. So they should feel confident that when there is crisis, when there is some need, India is going to help us, come what may. And that has to come from them, that they have to have confidence in us. Now, let me briefly explain about our maritime neighbors, or our neighbors who have maritime boundaries. Let me begin with Bangladesh. You all must be knowing that we had a dispute with Bangladesh with Newmore Island. This is a small island which normally is surfaces or is visual in extremely low tides. And because of this island, the international maritime boundary was getting affected. However, this case was in Bangladesh one, but we gracefully accepted, and that dispute has been resolved. But we all know Bangladesh is how prone it is to natural disasters. So we as a big nation should be ready to help them at all times. Their navy is expanding. They are getting into buying submarines, or rather they have already bought submarines. So now we have to extend our industrial base for repair facilities to them, for assistance to them. Training, we are already training their officers, their men. They are quite into our training establishments. So that has to continue. They have to have faith in us that in times of crisis, India is definitely going to help them. Similarly, Myanmar, now we know Great Coco Islands is just next door to us. We always feel that they have a huge setup there. But whilst in command of fleet, I actually did a recce there. I myself flew on a helicopter around that area. I mean, I feel we are overestimating what they are doing there. I don't think that much is there. However, we have to guard and we have to be careful. But Myanmar must know that if there is a crisis, if there is a disaster, if there is a natural disaster, ours will be the first nation to help them. So that we have to build confidence in them. You all must be knowing that we have leased one submarine to them. In fact, we had trained their crew. Now we are looking into their repairs, their training. Everything is done by us. Even for short refit, the submarine is coming back to us. And we are helping them build their submarine arm. Similarly, many times, plenty of their fishermen get captured in Andamans. So we have to devise some policies that, and I'm sure this is going to be a political issue, how to allow their fishermen to fish in our waters. Then only that bond of friendship or faith will develop. Similarly, Vietnam. Now, this is one country which we have to gain their confidence. Last 4 or 5 years, we have been training their submarine crew. They have bought few 636 submarines from Russia, and our navy, our yards are fully capable of maintaining these submarines. At least the short refit, normal refit can be undertaken by us. Besides this, plenty of other support we can give. We can give them support for battery maintenance. We can give the support for power related issues, their generator issues. Whole lot of our industrial base is being built up for maintaining our submarines, which are akin to their submarines. Recently, we have handed over, in fact, last week or 2 weeks back, we have handed over one K class, that is INS Kripan corvette, to Vietnam. And that's a very good gesture, and I'm sure they will benefit and we will also benefit in long run. Sri Lanka, the sore issue between us is Kachchativa Islands. In I think 1975, Indian government handed over that island to Sri Lanka, and there was quite a bit of unrest, and which keeps erupting frequently, especially during the festival season, when a lot of Indian fishermen, a lot of Indian community have to visit this island. As of now, there are some restrictions where our people are allowed to go, but our fishermen are not at all happy with this agreement. So again, this is a political issue, and we have to do something to make sure that our local people, our fishermen, are satisfied with whatever agreement we have with Sri Lankans. We are heavy into training there, all three services, including Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. We keep training them in our academies. Even their sailors, their jawans are being trained by us. As far as HADR is concerned, you all must be knowing in 2005 when tsunami struck, ours was the first country to reach out to them. And they openly agreed to this. They have been ever grateful to us for that. So we have to continue like that. Doesn't matter even if Hon'ble Patron has been made by Chinese, they have got 99 years, it's on lease to them. It should not affect us. I mean, though it is affecting us, but it should not be a roadblock to us. We have to continue our friendship. We have to continue helping them. We have got a good hold in Trincomalee, and we should continue with that. Similarly, other countries, Thailand, Indonesia, they all know that when there is a crisis, we are the first ones to reach. Like tsunami proved it. Our ships were from sea were diverted, and they were all there to help these countries. We have got an unresolved issue with Pakistan, that Sir Creek. I don't think that issue will ever get resolved unless some agreement appears. But actually, it has got very, very less impact, even in our EEZ. So we should not bother too much about it. But even Pakistan knows, all these nearby nations know that in time of crisis, we always are there to help them. What happened in Yemen? When our diaspora had to be evacuated, we got a whole lot of people from these nations also with us, our ships. So all these countries know that. My only suggestion is we should keep improving upon that. China has got bases all around us. They are going full speed about that. But we have to remember that to maintain these bases, they have a huge logistic chain. Even when their ships operate in Gulf of Aden, they have to be supported. And supporting at sea is not that easy. We always have to keep that in mind. Every single ship, aircraft or submarine which transits through the area, we have to track it, we have to trail it, and we have been doing it to a large extent. We have been successful in it. In fact, there have been occasions when even their submarine has been detected by our forces. So China is also aware of it. But we are in such a position as of now, we cannot prevent their bases being brought up in this area. But we have to have some plans, some counters to it. And that is a long-term solution. We have to start thinking about it right from now. China is investing quite a lot in making artificial islands in South China Sea. In fact, when we had transited our fleet, we could see huge movement of their construction debris, a lot of material being shifted from mainland to these islands. Wherever there are shallow patches, they are actually making artificial islands. We have to remember that we are blessed as a nation. We have got so many islands, and not only they are very close to us, they are quite a distance away from us. So it's high time we start encashing it. We have to utilize these islands to our good. We have to build up huge infrastructure there. Though it is coming up, but I personally feel the pace is very, very slow. By now, at South Andaman's Car Nicobar, we should have had a full-fledged naval base. We have just developed an airstrip there. That too, it is not capable of operating all types of aircraft. So we have to focus on this. We have been gifted. We have got tremendous natural resources in islands. And besides extracting resources, we have to develop these islands as international tourist destinations, because that will also add to progress of our nation. As Indo-Pacific becomes the center of global economic activities, we must develop comprehensive maritime security cooperation. Like what we have heard of AUKUS, we have heard of Quad. Now we have to get into these such cooperations, even with smaller navies or smaller nations which are around us. And that should be the beginning. We just don't have to wait for bigger powers to get into alignment with us or cooperation with us. We have to start doing that very, very methodically. We have got excellent submarine rescue facilities. I am saying this not because I am a submariner, but we have invested quite a bit into it. And we have operationalized this capability, and we have proved it at sea. We have demonstrated as a mock drill, we have actually carried out live escapes from our submarines to demonstrate. Around us, quite a few navies are procuring submarines. So it's a high time that we should be ready to help them as far as submarine rescue is concerned. The recent incident which happened in Indonesian submarine, you will be glad to know that our submarine rescue facilities were all poised to help them. In fact, everything was actually shifted to Andamans, so that moment they call us, we were ready to help them. But overnight, we would have dispatched actually our infrastructure to them for the help. So this has to be told to our neighboring nations. They have to know that we are there to help them. Our national approach towards maritime cooperation has been clearly enunciated by our government's vision, that is Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. And I'm sure we are progressing, albeit at slow pace, but we are doing that. Our policy has shifted from lookist to actist, and I feel we are also progressing slowly in this direction. So this is the way we will have to, first of all, enhance or contribute towards maritime security in our region, so that all our neighbors get confident that we are in real sense a net security provider. And this is not now. In fact, I remember an incident when I was a cadet in 1982, when HMS Ambuscade, that is a Type 21 frigate, met with a collision, and that it was a massive damage to the ship. And only in our region, matchdogs could repair that ship. I'm talking of 1982. That ship was towed and she was docked in matchdogs for more than 2 months, and the ship was repaired, operationalized, and sent back. So we have got capability now, and plus we have got a national will. So that is the way I would like to conclude, that we have to prove it in this region that we are in real sense net security providers. Thank you so much.